Hello, everybody, and welcome to Eager Saturnalia going into the semifinals. My name is D Sinks, and joining me is going to be our special guest, F. Dot. How you doing, man?
Yo, doing all right. Ready to see some janky teams.
Indeed, janky can probably be expected. As we're going right into the picks and bans here, Zeus is going to be the first player taken off of the board. Just going to go ahead and get that out of the way. Don't want to deal with that AoE burst damage that Zeus can really bring to the table.
Little throwback to the 2013 era when Zeus was banned every single game. So here we're going to take it away from some of the mid mages.
Yeah, stun on 3 stacks. Bring it back as a as a Cyclone. They're thinking about what to ban here going into Feeling Pumped, and it's going to be Hebo. Speaking of burst mages, Hebo, one of the more infamous burst mages to ever come throughout Smite, is one of the best solo carry mid gods you can get, and they just said no.
The man with 3 ultimates.
As Ao Kuang now, he's going to be the one taken off the board. Magic seems to be the theme as well as burst. Ao Kuang, speaking of great solo carry gods, Ao Kuang, the god you never want to see in any of your ranked games. You don't want to see him in this game either. Feeling Pumped, I'm just going to go ahead and take him away. His nemesis is going to be the final ban.
Certainly didn't work out for adapting last round, so
you can't carry that much dead weight, not with Hemlick on the team, as Nemesis is going to round out the bans here. Now it comes down to Feeling Pumped. They're going to look at taking some picks here. They have a lot of options, and it's going to be Tera here. One of the better support gods, one of the more favorite support gods in the game right now. Tera, she is going to be locked in. Global ultimate, control, healing, what's not to love?
And certainly, I mean, when you got a guy like Trixtank putting the god Tera in his hands, that's going to be a devastating situation.
And Freya going to be locked in for Vote here. Vote has always loved Freya and Fafnir. Freya and Fafnir, that is an absolutely terrifying dual lane that I would never want to go against past 15 minutes. That dual lane, they're just going to be able to absolutely shred through this game.
Yeah, I mean, the double F combo, the Freya Fafnir is really gnarly. Freya is a character that actually, she scales better with attack speed rather than the magical power. So Coerce it was made for a god like Freya.
As Dimi is going to be countering it with a soul. Dimi is going to be the ADC for Feeling Pumped this game. He's going to take his own map hunter into the lane, and now it is going to be Camazotz locked in. The Bat is going to be seeing some gameplay here. He could either go to the jungle or the solo lane. I don't know if he's really a Twiggy god, though.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. CaptainTwig, I like to see him on characters that can sort of set up people, whereas when it comes down to Camazotz, you're really looking for the long-range poke. Think like Thor Hammer double taps, and then, of course, just being able to hard carry. CaptainTwig can do that. Not saying he can't, but I really like him on the set of gods.
As Erlang going to be the final lock-in here for Cyclone. They are going to take away a kind of a flex pick here, as Nike, speaking of flex picks, she's going to be banned away after seeing what Nike could do against the might of Adapting and company. They are going to go ahead and take away her. Ice is going to get banned away here. They just don't want a dominant mid lane god to be going over the way of Cyclone.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, Wlfy, the mid laner for CycloneGG, he's got a really strong ISIS. The character's good in general, but Wlfy specifically is really good at ISIS. So taking that off the board is definitely the good look for Feeling Pumped.
Yeah, as now Scylla going to get banned away here. Burst Mages one more time, really. She will be the final ban in the game. Scylla she is, as her ultimate says, she's an absolute monster. Not going to want to give away that much magical burst, which is really seen to be the name of the game, despite the fact that Soul and Freya both will be on the board.
With that Ho Yi pick, that's definitely very interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be a Ho Yi mid here. Wlfy loves Ho Yi mid. Every single time we've seen him play a game that kind of doesn't matter as much, he's like, I'm going to take Ho Yi. I got it. Don't worry, guys. And with Vote on Freya, that really is just giving him that way. And speaking of iconic characters, Nulisa, she's going to get her signature JAnus here.
Love this pick for this player. Nulisa, she's got a couple of other gods up her sleeves, but for the casual viewer, Nulisa's JAnus is certainly something that you absolutely cannot ignore.
And Ratatoskr, speaking of setup gods, Rat going to get locked in. That one's probably going over the way of CaptainTwig. I imagine Rat more than Camazotz for Twiggy here, and Rat bringing that global pressure is going to be so much, and they're going to counter it with a Hoon Bots pick of their own. So the junglers are now set in stone. Team comps are all lined up.
Yeah, I just want to touch on what you said. The CaptainTwig Ratatoskr, that's exactly what I was talking about. I'm sure the Camazotz works for Twig, but I would much rather see him on a character like Ratatoskr that he can land down in the middle of everything, get some nice knockups, and set up nulisa and Dimi to really do some damage.
Yeah, and I mean JAnus and Soul, definitely two characters that can really do a tremendous amount of damage in team fight as we're going to be cutting into game here now. It is all set. Feeling pumped. They're going to be taking on CycloneGG in this best of 3 set. Both of them want to go to the finals here to compete for that grand prize. And as we're going underway, everybody's just kind of walking out of base and warding right now, getting all set up and ready to go for some sick action.
A little close here on the right side, but I don't think we're going to see anything too crazy out of the Camazotz level 1 exactly. I'm really excited to see Wlfy on the Ho-Yi in the mid lane. Wlfy is a character that really likes those hunters mid lane, specifically the Ho-Yi. So I always like to see Wlfy bring out his better gods. He's a strong mid laner, but because he was on not a top tier team, not a lot of players really get to see how strong he can be.
I mean, for me, when you talk about Cyclone and not being on that top tier team in the SPL, but really shining, I think of Vote here. Formerly Vote MBK. He was on Cyclone and then he was on Justice in the season 2. And I always thought that this player was so good, but just kind of never able to get the momentum that he needed. As we could see a little bit of evade here. Callus, he's posturing forward onto the red buff.
Yeah, you can see the Fafnir. He kind of came around the corner. Basically, I think he wanted to see what Feeling Pumped was up to because you can see the start coming out from Cyclone. They're actually going to start at those mid camps and then travel back to the red buff.
Yeah, this is a start that we haven't really seen a tremendous amount. Eager did something kind of similar where they would do the mid harpies and then they do the red buff, and then but the support would follow the mid laner into mid. So they're going to go for something a little bit different here. It's going to be Wlfy and nulisa left all up to their own devices, as meanwhile in solo lane, Twig and Ducky, they cleared a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and keeping an eye back at the dual lane, you know, that start that CycloneGG went, it's very interesting because they immediately give up lane dominance in a situation where they're not going to have it anyway. So it's the Freya versus the Soul. I think CycloneGG said, look, we're not getting to lane first. We're not going to have the dominance, so why don't we pick up these mid camps? You can see right away, Tera leaves the lane, and it's just Dimi. With the Soul pick, totally fine.
Yeah, it's Soul, one of the more lane-dominant characters. Freya, one of the worst lane-dominant characters. Freya will almost always lose lane, but Deathwalker not going to be losing lane today. Ducky's going to fall for first blood in the solo lane.
So Camazotz certainly not off to a good start. First blood going over the way of CycloneGG. Nice little start. You can see the teleport right away coming out from the bat. So a little bit of a bad situation for Feeling Pumped as they are getting their right back harpy stolen.
Yeah, I love that call coming out from Cyclone. They saw the opportunity, and they just went immediately to the back harpies with the jungle and the solo lane. Wlfy's currently being pushed underneath tower as that Ho-Yi, which isn't too surprising. And Ducky could be in a little bit of trouble. Nah, he's just going to be able to back away safely. He's going to recognize that. Does not want to give up anything more than what he's already given up.
Yeah, Cyclone might have been able to loop around and look for a kill, but without that Fear and Weevil online, iceicebaby on the monkey, you basically get that okie-doke kill in the beginning or nothing at all before the Fear and Weevil comes out on Hunbat. So iceicebaby decides to err on the side of caution and doesn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's smart as well. Ducky right next to his tower, and Camazotz is a character who the key word for him is sustain. Has the ability to heal on 2 of his abilities as well as his passive. He can just keep himself at that full health mark, and iceicebaby's actually been in the solo lane for a very long time. Going to be backing to base and picking up his boots here. They've trusted Wlfy to not die in the mid lane, and so far their trust has been rewarded.
Yeah, it's been, and that's to be expected. Wlfy on the Ho-Yi, like I mentioned before, definitely a veteran when it comes to this pick, this style. So you can sort of trust him to be alone in the mid lane, just like Feeling Pumped did with Dimi earlier on the Soul.
Yeah, and Cyclone and Callus, or Cyclone and Callus, voting Callus on Cyclone, they're going to still be placed underneath this tower, but Ice, he wants to alleviate a little bit of pressure.
There's an ultimate. Here. Deathwalker's going to get jumped on. Very low HP. nulisa shows up through the portal. And Ducky gets his revenge. It's 1-1. The solo laner who got smoked earlier, he's the smoker.
Indeed. The nice global rotational power coming out from that JAnus there. Put on full display. And Twig also using an ultimate. Meanwhile, in the dual lane, Ice ganked a Soul. And Soul, she just went into her ghostly state, completely immune to everything. She is just fine. Trixtank also being okay. Red buff, though, that's something that Cyclone want to reward themselves with to get something out of that rotation to the right-hand side of the map.
CaptainTwig hanging around here on the right side looking for the invade. on the speed buff. You can see Cyclone coming down right down the corridor. Can CaptainTwig take this? Nah, he's going to be... There it is.
That was a nice little acorn blast there just to secure the speed buff. Not going to be able... Oh, no, actually, sorry. Wlfy ended up getting that, or Deathwalker ended up getting that. So Wlfy going to be the one who picks it up as Ice is currently on the other side of the map. I thought Twig got it, but I guess Deathwalker's auto attack was a little bit better than the acorns.
Yeah, just a nice little smooth mink ride in there. Wlfy tries to get the mid camps with a little bit of bounce shot, but CaptainTwig and nulisa proved to be a little bit quicker.
And so this also what this is going to mean is that speed buff invade attempted and failed, but Ice was able to get that red buff on the left side, so they kind of just got rewarded without really losing much. Which so far as Cyclone, I mean, they're holding in there. If you just look at these two teams, the all-star roster is definitely feeling pumped, but maybe Cyclone Synergy can come out a little bit more on top. As meanwhile in the soul lane, Deathwalker and Ducky, they're just going to be slapboxing this whole time.
Wlfy might be in trouble here. He's going to get collapsed on in the mid lane, drops the ultimate, and immediately goes to jump over the wall. CaptainTwig, however, is going to give chase to the gremlins. He lands safely and did some fun.
It's going to grab the mid harpies. Nulisa also using JAnus ult there, trying to secure some damage onto the enemy team, and unable to find it really. Trixtank also not able to progress further. So it was a whole lot of ultimates burned and nothing really gained. 3 ults down now on the side of Feeling Pumped. This could be the opportunity that Cyclone really should look for. They don't have the same global prowess that Feeling Pumped do, but if you don't have your ultimates, then all of a sudden the rotational power is dead even.
Yeah, I mean, Cyclone are already up 1,000 gold thanks to their repeated invades. CaptainTwig is actually playing very aggressive, sitting in the enemy jungle more often than not, but unfortunately, he's coming up empty-handed as Cyclone. You can see they've got 2 of the red buffs thanks to some of their crafty invades. So CaptainTwig, despite his best efforts, not able to really secure his jungle.
And this is really just allowing Batz. I mean, already past level 5. First Fear No Evil didn't end up doing a whole lot. Fear No Evil back off of cooldown now. Could look for something, but there's a lot of very hard lanes to gank. If Camazotz has his ult up, you're probably not going to kill him. Nulisa, she can walk through walls. And Dimi can just take himself completely out of being in Smite really for 3 seconds with that disapparate. So there's just a hard time or tough ask for Ice to be able to gank anybody on this Batz.
CaptainTwig can get in trouble. Stunned out, gets the double shot out of Wlfy. CaptainTwig's dash gets him safely under the tower. Nulisa's going to show up, and Cyclone not going to chase it.
Yeah, they double bounce still hurts, just in case anybody was curious. He fell out of favor for a little bit there, but he is back. And that's one reason that right there that Wlfy loves this character is he can just take those mid camps instantly, thanks to that triple bounce spot within the middle of them. So he loves it because it's so hard to steal them away from Wlfy, so long as he can line up that shot, even if just for a second, as Deathwalker also going to snag the imps one more time.
Tera's in trouble in mid lane, but Trixtank could have played it safe. And just piggybacking off of your comment, hold that actually. CaptainTwig taking to the sky, looking for some aggression here. As Cyclone in Feeling Pumped's jungle. Icebaby's going to get landed on. Nulisa hits the monkey, and Icebaby going to find a way out. Nulisa's still in trouble on the backside, but here comes Callus.
And Callus, he's pressing forward, throws out the course onto Wlfy. Not going to connect on the sun. Stellar Burst going to do a little bit of damage. Vote left by himself. Twig looking for aggression on the other side, and Vote, he's just going to walk away here. A whole lot of fighting over a red buff, but no kills, and the red buff will still be secured by Feeling Pumped.
Yeah, I think CaptainTwig thought there was more of an opportunity there, and so Feeling Pumped kind of took the fight that wasn't really too strong, but luckily they don't pay for it.
Indeed, and really that was Icebaby. The moment Twig went up, Cyclone called it out, and Ice just left. He was not going to stick around for that fight. Fear No Evil, I don't believe, was up at that moment in time when Twig went up into the tree, so he just ran away. Wlfy with good support to throw the ultimate over the wall. Vote able to get the whoop out onto Twig after he landed on him. Great disengage coming out from CycloneGG, and Feeling Pumped, they're feeling themselves a little bit. They want the Gold Fury.
Yeah, it's going to be 50% on the objective, but here comes Wlfy. Nice little bounce to get everybody off the objective, and there's the jump over the wall. CaptainTwig stuck, but he'll be able to walk away. And that's pretty much all that is. Feeling Pumped, I don't know about that Gold Fury shot.
Well, I mean, it was worth a try. It was worth seeing, hey, maybe they don't have wards down. Maybe they don't realize that they're there. Wlfy, he might be in some trouble here. He is up in the air. It's going to be Twig. He's going to jump the ult. Toro, indeed, as now Twig. He's down in ultimate again, though Sanctuary was burned by Wlfy there, so that's an important relic on cooldown.
Everything's working out for Cyclone right here in the early game. Basically, you were talking about Icebaby not being able to get some ganks because of the lanes, and that's totally fine. If you're looking at Feeling Pumped's composition with CaptainTwig on the Rat, I mean, that's the composition that needs to be looking for these ganks. Cyclone, they got it off to a nice little start thanks to some quick invades, got themselves up to a nice little 1,000 gold lead. Now they're extending it, and basically they're looking for these early to mid-game team fights where Batz is going to really flex. Feeling Pumped are the ones that have to find the picks, and they're just not. 1-to-1 kills, Cyclone's fine with that. Feeling Pumped is not.
So here's an item that I think is kind of fun right now as it is kind of working its way in and out of the meta. Ducky, he has himself a Shield of Regrowth. This is an item that gives you some CDR, some prot, some power, but mainly it's the passive. Every time you heal yourself, you get bonus movement speed. And Camazotz has 3 different ways to heal himself between his jump, his 2, and as well as his passive. So he's just looking to go really, really fast as often as he can here. I think Camazotz is one of the only characters that I really, really like this item on.
What about Thanatos, my friend?
I'm not having this conversation anymore with you. Mid lane, everybody groups up and doesn't fight. Exciting Smite action there as Vote. Vote has been kind of just free farming this entire game. Twig's been focusing a lot of aggression on the Ice-Ice-Baby. I don't know how well that's going to work with since you just have the timer counting down on Vote on this Freya before he just becomes a carry.
Exactly, and that's again the point that I was making when it comes to Feeling Pumped. They need to find these picks specifically on that Freya. You can see Freya getting excited, going for an invade, and there's the ultimate out of JAnus. Everybody traveling to the west, and that's going to send Freya to the skies. Vote BK in trouble. CaptainTwig gets the kill.
And meanwhile, Deathwalker and Wlfy swooping around from the back end. Callus and Ice on the front end. Nulisa using her purification will get out of there. The taunt is going to connect onto just one. It's going to be Twig they're looking at right now. Callus up in his dragon form. He's going to coerce down onto Wlfy. Twig on the back end going to find Ice-Ice-Baby. And now he's just going to try and make his way out of there as Callus keeps pressing forward with the aggression.
And CaptainTwig, 2 kills, 0 deaths, and an assist. The ganks weren't coming, but hey, he makes up for a lackluster early game, level 11, and gets himself a couple of kills right there. 3 kills in total for Feeling Pumped. Not quite yet closing the gap, still about 1,000 gold down, but that's certainly the type of play that Feeling Pumped wants to make, and you got to give credit to nulisa. The JAnus ultimate certainly allowed that to happen.
And they want the Gold Fury as a reward for that very successful team fight. Ducky on the front end is just wreaking down havoc. Wlfy, he's in trouble. He could fall here. The final shot will connect. Ducky's going to get Wlfy. Feeling Pumped, they're going to get the Gold Fury in the meantime. Ducky likely to be a sacrifice. No mana to his name, but Feeling Pumped, they're going to say, we appreciate your service, Ducky. We'll see you later.
Exactly. I'll trade my solo laner for a Gold Fury every single day of the week, and that's exactly how that's going to go. We just said that Feeling Pumped was able to shorten the gap but not close it. Bam, it's a tie game. Feeling Pumped picks up the objective, and now everything's all even. 4-2 read the kills, but the gold is all tied up.
Ice-Ice-Baby is kind of lurking around this mid lane. I think that they're going to switch off to the speed buff, and it looked like originally they wanted a fight, and a fight they might take here. CaptainTwig didn't hit the 2-man stun, keeping himself just fine. When it comes to Feeling Pumped, their ability to re-engage is what won them that last team fight. And mobility, it's not just for aggression. It can be for counter. It can be for counter aggression. It can be for defensiveness. As Twig, he's going to take the speed buff now. And
there's an ultimate on nulisa. This time defensively, the invade coming out from Feeling Pumped proves fruitful, but Wlfy gets the kill on the CaptainTwig, so perhaps not as free as they might have liked.
Feeling himself a little bit there, Twig decides to go in again. He's like, I got this, guys. We can fight. And Nulisa ulted out, and Twig just was left there without any purification. So Twig will fall. Still not the worst thing in the world. They did get the speed buff, which is good. That takes something off the map. You never want to trade your jungler for a speed buff ever.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who you ask. The junglers certainly will. Little scrum here. Kala's going to get stunned out, and that'll save the rest of everybody.
I'm excited to see Callus onto this Fafnir here. When it came to Super Regionals, Fafnir was completely invisible, just not a character that anybody really wanted to pick. Now that we've come into this tournament, there's been a lot of Fafnir play happening, and it seems like EU really, really enjoys their Dragon Dwarf. As Callus so far, he's played a pretty solid game there on that Fafnir, able to get off some good Dragon transformations, keep him alive, some good coerces to help his team out in team fights. And yeah, so far Callus, he's been looking good.
Yeah, Kallus really likes the Fafnir pick as the mid lane tower goes down for a first rebel. And it's basically because he's an aggressive player, and Fafnir allows him to be aggressive, but also utility-based with the Coerce, like you were mentioning. And don't forget, the Dragon Transform baits a lot of nonsense out. You jump on a Fafnir, you dump all your abilities, and all of a sudden, he's just immune. So Kalis really likes this pick.
Yeah, and you have to be really, really careful when you're dumping all of your abilities, because Batz is still lurking around with that Fear No Evil. And even scarier, Vote is still on Freya. As if you take a look at items very, very briefly, 2 are online, and the rule of thumb with Freya has always been get 3 items online and carry the game. That's the core of her build. Likely to be a demonic coming up next for Vote. And if you switch over to gold in hand as I search for it, well, he's got an awful lot. 2k gold, getting very, very close to that demonic rep.
CaptainTwig getting caught on his way to the mid lane. Not a big deal. Nice little shot at a Wlfy to poke nulisa down, but nothing too crazy. But the Tera ultimate was popped. Trixtank got a little bit nervous there.
Yeah, happy trigger finger as Dimi actually getting boxed out by Vote, having no fear of the form of the solo laner by trade, but Dimi playing on that soul. Vote is totally okay with taking the fight to him, and it looks like Deathwalker and company might want to take the fight to Feeling Pumped here. Ducky rotating around in the jungle, he could get caught out.
Yeah, he'll be all right, but the rest of the team, on the other hand, different story. Wlfy starts it off and gets a kill. Ultimate out of nulisa, not going to do much of anything. CaptainTwig going to get out of there safely. CycloneGG exerts their pressure on the right side, and that's going to give them a speed buff again. This has been their gimmick the entire time. nulisa goes through the portal. Not a good move. Trixtank is here to help out, but the rest of Cyclone cleaned up on aisle 5. iceicebaby with the monkey gets the kill.
And Twig, all the meanwhile, he's actually going to go around for the counter invade on the speed buff, but Twig, he has no ultimate. If he gets caught out here, he's dead. Ice immediately spells something's up. Twig, he's going to get the speed buff. Ice, he's going to see Twig, but he's going to just back off. I think that Ice could have looked in for that further aggression, but I guess nobody else was really that nearby him in order to help out. Deathwalker, he'll snag himself a blue buff in the meantime.
Yeah, exactly. So he's got to be a little bit careful. Looking for the answer back on that mid lane tower. iceicebaby going to push it. Nice jump over the stun. Not able to get the tower down. Here comes CaptainTwig. Right over the wall goes Wlfy. iceicebaby doesn't have the jump available. He takes a little bit of the chunk from the jungler. He'll be all right at the end of it.
Vote, they're going to drop the red buff here, and Vote is going to go ahead and pick it up. They're going to get mid harpies and neutral objectives, and enemy objectives has really been what Cyclone's been looking at here. Switching over to the graphs, it is now gold and experience are both decently back in their control. 1,600 gold lead, 2k experience lead. They've just been looking for the buffs, and despite losing the gold fury, Ice quick trigger finger, but nulisa quicker trigger finger. She's going to get out of there just all right.
Yeah, the Fear No Evil came out, but the big deal about Batz, I mean, Batz has always been a strong character, but recently, I talk about it all the time, the Hydra's Lament, such a big deal, and it's really turned him into this nasty assassin. And unfortunately for Ice, he dropped the Fear No Evil. He got his overhand smash on CaptainTwig, but he wasn't able to find the follow-up basic, which is really what makes that combination of the item and the character so devastating. So because of that, Twiggy gets out no problem, and the rat just sort of bounces around.
And Ducky over here on this Camazotz, really the story for him, it feels like it's been picked, as he's going to be forced up into his ultimate here, running away from iceicebaby. Ice might actually look to take this fight here, and he will. He's going to jump forward. He's looking for the overhand smash. Not enough damage yet. Monkey bounce coming off a cooldown. Not going to connect. Ducky, quicker juke feet than Ice has his abilities, and now Ducky is going to be fine to back for right now. Ice not going to dive the tower. Ducky, nice jukes.
What a perfect ultimate out of the Freya. Right there, you see CaptainTwig ults from a mile away, so he doesn't even hear the ultimate. He just feels it. He looks towards the sky, sees the Ratatoskr coming down, and is able to hit the ultimate exactly before the knockup comes. If that Freya gets knocked up, Desyncs, that's a dead Valkyrie. So very important heads-up play coming out from VoteBK.
Yeah, Freya, she has to keep herself relevant in this game, and that is exactly what she has done, keeping herself at even level with her opponent. And in terms of net worth, she's sitting right around that middle of the pack here, is down to Dimi on that, who's actually second on net worth, but that's okay for right now, as you see 3 items done for Freya. Next team fight, she's going to be able to swing.
Yeah, I want to see Vote start rotating. nulisa's going to start getting the kill on the left side. Nice little portal to banish the Freya out of the action. And 1 kill and a nice exit from FeelingPumped is going to be a strong play. They need to keep doing that, Desyncs.
Yeah, they need to continue looking for this aggression still, and they want to take it to Vote, who, while he has no ultimate available, Ults burn from both Tera and Soul. They're not going to find it. Ice, he wants to go in for the re-engage. Nulisa is right around on the back end. She is going to be able to keep her team safe, and they burned a lot there, but they did get the Sanctuary out of Vote there, so no ult for a little bit. No Sanctuary. Actually, the ultimate just came off the cooldown, but no Sanctuary for a little bit longer. Oh,
Kalas gets a little aggressive. FeelingPumped's not going to find a kill, but Kalas found himself surrounded by a couple of players. Ultimate out of the JAnus on the left side, looking for the kill on a Vote. MBK takes to the sky. He's going to get towered out here.
Yeah, and Trixtank, he's there. Twiggy, he's going to dunk on down, and Vote is going to fall. Now the tier 1 tower is going to be the bounty that FeelingPumped go for, and this is completely free. There is no reason for Cyclone to defend this tier 1 right now, because Ice all the meanwhile, he's taking the tier 2 in mid.
CycloneGG has been just very smart about when they're going to fight. Twig is going to find a way out, but will he get followed up on?
Oh, Wlfy hit the triple bounce there onto Twig. Ice going to hit the monkey bounce, and Twig just going to get bounced out of this life. He's going to find himself on the respawn timer. Nulisa running away from Ice right here. Kalas has joined in. The Fear No Evil gets dropped. She's going to just barely make it through the portal, but nice bounces coming out from CycloneGG. Gold Fury now the target in their sights. Kalas going to get over here, and I don't think that FeelingPumped can get there in time.
Not at all. I mean, you're going to see Dimi show up a little bit here. Here's the pullback, actually. 25% of the Gold Fury, Ducky, Trixtank, Dimi, everybody from FeelingPumped wound up getting there in time. So CycloneGG are forced to leash it.
What's rough is that Vote wasn't there. You have your Hunter is Wlfy this game. He's the one playing the Hunter class, but your Hunter player in terms of role, Vote, not being there really made that kind of a tougher ask. And FeelingPumped, they're going to try and get this Gold Fury now. They're looking for Trix zoning out Vote in the back end. Kalas, he's right on over here. Ducky goes up into the portal, and while Vote falls down into it, ultimate from Nulisa not going to connect here, but Vote, he's not going to make it out of this one alive.
Dimi gets the kill onto the Freya. Deathwalker here trying to do what he can to sort of disrupt FeelingPumped, but it's just not going to do enough. Tera ultimate gets everybody out, but Trixtank, he's all by himself. Trixtank joins the party, or rather CaptainTwig and iceicebaby now, 25% HP. Twiggy drops the Aegis, and he's going to find a safe exit. FeelingPumped on the aggressive foot now, pushing CycloneGG out of the left side jungle.
FeelingPumped understand that Vogue can make a huge impact in these team fights, and they are just diving on him relentlessly. Kalas, he's pushing forward thanks to a little bit of self-sustain. Deathwalker and Wlfy both also here, but FeelingPumped, they're totally okay with just taking this fight. Nulisa going to throw up the portal just in case anybody wants to move forward, but it looks as though the Gold Fury going to go the way of FeelingPumped one more time, and if you look at the graphs after that team fight, it's damn near a dead even ball game.
Yeah, and this has been the motif for the last 21 minutes. CycloneGG finds a bunch of smaller objectives to find themselves up 1,500, 2,000 gold, and then FeelingPumped is able to, in one swift team fight, sort of negate that situation. And that's a good thing if you're FeelingPumped, if you're a FeelingPumped fan for now. But the problem is if CycloneGG are able to keep this up, FeelingPumped are going to consistently be on the back foot, and CycloneGG running the tempo of this game is just not where FeelingPumped wants to be at.
So far, he's actually getting ganked right now. Deathwalker, he could be in a little bit of trouble. Going to go ahead and turtle. Ice making the rotation, dropping the ultimate. Twiggy going to jump right on back down. Deathwalker with that ultimate should be A-okay. He'll heal up here in just a moment, as now they're going to rotate around in the jungle. But what I was going to say is Deathwalker hasn't really made an impact in this game, and despite being picked repeatedly, Ducky has been making a huge impact every single team fight that he's been into, being a huge part of the reason that they're able to kill the carries of Vote and Wlfy.
Yeah, you know, and Deathwalker just has never really impressed me, and this is really just continuing that situation where Deathwalker, he's not a detriment to the team. He's a fine stand-in, but he's not this big playmaker like you see Ducky, the rookie, come out for on Team Dignitas in the SPL. Ducky makes these plays. Deathwalker doesn't really have that playmaking ability, and you got to lean on Ice and Wlfy to find that.
Yeah, now they're just going to try and recover back into this game. Cyclone, they find themselves, they're on the back foot a little bit, but I think it's more mental than anything else. Ducky willing to make it a more physical as he's just exerting his presence here. This Camazotz right now is very, very scary and very, very fast as you see the Shield of Regrowth making him just run right across that jungle.
And see, what Ducky can do on this Camazotz is exactly what you just saw. He shouldn't have gone into the support like that, but with the heals, he's able to really make up for over-aggressive plays on the Camazotz. So you can really see how he's going to be playing it. And right here, FeelingPumped on the right side of the map, looking ready for a tier 2 push.
Yeah, and Twig, he's lurking around in this jungle here through the Cosmos, is available in case he wants to jump on down. It looks like the fight's going to be initiated, however, by Cyclone Vote. He is the target right now. nulisa not going to connect. Twiggy, he's going to jump down onto Vote. Vote up in the sky. He's looking for the damage from above. Dimi, he's down to 50% HP. All of FeelingPumped at around half health.
This is all CycloneGG. A bad start of the team fight coming out from FeelingPumped, and Cyclone trying to punish them. FeelingPumped, Trixtank is going to get rooted, but that's the tank, not the target. You want to get rooted. And FeelingPumped, they were on the retreat, but CycloneGG loses it. Callus falls down. Nice aggressive play to Ducky once again.
Twig on the back end trying to do what he can, but all of a sudden the fight has swung one more time. Dimi forced and just barely going to make it out of there thanks both to Sanctuary and to Separate. And now this is a major point of Tera. She's just going to drop the monolith, and all those people that were so low are now slowly regaining their health one more time. Cyclone, they don't have a healer. They're just going to have to fall back.
Their initiation on that team fight was just wrong, but because of the heal, they're able to get a second chance. Teleport coming down to the tier 2 tower is going to be good. There's the ultimate, but nulisa takes out Ice before he could deal the damage. nulisa's going to get banished, and here comes the rest of Cyclone. Nice little portal to save her right there. Deathwalker trying to find some damage as well, but FeelingPumped going to be successfully out of there.
And meanwhile, Twiggy, he's going to re-engage again, going on to Vote in the back end. Vote now boxing it out. Dimi boxing it out with the rest of Cyclone. He's looking forward at Wlfy here. It's going to be Vote to fall. CaptainTwig is going to get the kill. Deathwalker and Wlfy both being forced out. nulisa ultimate not going to connect again, but Deathwalker, he is going to be the target now. He's caught out completely by himself. Rooted, the turtle can't go through that. He's going to throw down the pin, do what damage that he can, but it doesn't look good, although nulisa will fall thanks to Wlfy's ultimate.
Beautiful ult out of the Hou-Yi. That is exactly what you want and why Wlfy chose it. So you got two reasons why the Hou-Yi's playing in this mid lane. We're going to ignore the fact that Wlfy just loves this Hou-Yi mid. You've got the Freya in the long lane, which means you're foregoing a traditional hunter, so you don't have any tower damage. So that's why you have the hunter in the mid lane. But the Hou-Yi specifically, that large AoE mage-like ult, when you've got these scrums in the jungle, Wlfy on that Hou-Yi is going to be able to punish anybody in these tight corridors, create a big you can't go here zone, and unfortunately for nulisa, she was right smack in the middle of it, so down.
So there is something to note is that there's 0 curses on the side of CycloneGG, but a Frenzy has been picked up for Callus here, looking to get that double buff effect of Coerce and Frenzy, and he's going to make sure it lasts for 15 seconds in total. Ritual Dagger is going to be the selection for the support player here. Ritual Dagger increases every single duration-based relic that you have by 50%, and Frenzy's already a 10-second usage, so this is a 15-second damage and attack speed buff.
Max utility on this Fafnir. Love the gameplay decision coming out from Callus right here. Not only the Frenzy, but also the Shell is going to be extended thanks to the Ritual Dagger, like you mentioned, the Coerce. The Fafnir right here, he's a bard, basically, to use an old RPG term. He's just here to, like, support his team, obviously, but rather than peels like you see with a traditional support, he's going to support with the numbers with his relics.
I don't think that Callus here is going to be able to roll up any impressive performance checks for singing, but it's going to be Dimi looking here, and actually it's going to be Cyclone looking to take the fight. Nice ultimate coming out of iceicebaby to get things going, but Ducky's on the front end and he's looking to rain havoc down below. nulisa, however, going to be removed from the fight immediately.
Hot play coming out of Ice. We'll cover it in a moment. Ducky gets one on the backside. Dimi's going to get banished, and he's going to get sent to the Nether Realm right there from Wlfy. Great team fight coming out from CycloneGG. It's 1 dead to 2 at the moment. Make that 3. Vote NBK winds up on the good side as Ducky falls down. 2 players are safe on FeelingPumped, but they are nowhere near this fire giant. CycloneGG cleans it up, takes a 2,000 gold lead, and they're going to take the FG.
And Twig, he's looking to stall here a little bit. Deathwalker going to take the bait, but it's totally fine. Quick stun comes out from Twig, and thanks to that Ratatoskr 1 passive, the dash is immediately going to be up. Unfortunately for Twig, it wasn't enough. Cyclone, they will get the Fire Giant here after a great team fight. Really all started off by a fantastic ultimate coming out from iceicebaby.
Hot play I really want to cover so it doesn't get lost. iceicebaby killed nulisa. We saw that one, but the way he gets it, he throws the monkey in the middle of the lane knowing that nulisa's going to have to portal out of there to safety. She uses the portal, and he's able to teleport right to the monkey, and CaptainTwig's able to teleport right to the base thanks to the help from Vote NBK.
That was a very long fight for Deathwalker, just running him down. Callus and Vote both showed up. The Gold Fury going to get dropped here, as now taking a look at the graphs after that one. Cyclone, it was a close game almost the whole way through, but now they find the major objectives, and they're going to be rewarded with a 5K gold lead and 5K experience lead. They're going to start looking to put this one away.
Yeah, that's the nice stretch that Cyclone was looking for. We saw a little bit of a glimpse of it at the 21-minute mark, but FeelingPumped was actually able to usurp the lead away thanks to a nice gank. CycloneGG have been able to find these 1,000 to 2,000 gold leads off of these small plays, and they've been waiting all game to make these large, big steps. That play on the right side was exactly it. Now you see the slaughter of the map, 8K in the lead for Cyclone.
Deathwalker here, he's going to be pushing down the soul lane side. Right side of the map is the only spot with a tower still available for FeelingPumped. Immediately Cyclone ripped away those two on the left end. This is likely going to be their point of siege because, hey, why not just grab another 1,500 gold? I don't know if FeelingPumped should even try and defend this one at this point in time. It's just going to be a very rough ass to fight into Cyclone on a tier 2 tower at this stage of the game with the lead that they have.
I mean, right now, Cyclone doesn't seem to show any plans of doing that. You can see the back coming out of Deathwalker. He's going to cancel it. 3 in the mid and 2 on the right. So Cyclone not grouping up, looking for the direct siege, but FeelingPumped, getting ready for it anyway, grouping up as 5 on the right side.
Yeah, and something to note here is Ducky's build. When we saw Divios bring out this Camazotz solo, because that was really the first place that you did see it, he went for this defense bruiser build and just stood in the middle of 5 people and jumped on them because you just can't kill the Camazotz at that point. His tier 2 will drop. Ducky's going for a more aggressive build here, and while it has largely worked out for him, in that last team fight specifically, he just couldn't sustain the way that soul laners normally can, like Deathwalker has been able to here. And now they're just going to look to push forward and going out. Trix, he's actually might be the one to start the fight.
Yeah, here's that right lane siege that you were talking about, D-Sing. Cyclone starts the party, but they're not able to really find their entrance way just yet. So we'll see them back off and likely one more push.
Freya's bubble got popped there, actually. I didn't even realize Freya had a Magi's Blessing. Trixtank goes in and is able to get it. So that's just a line of defense down for Vote, who has been the #1 target coming out for FeelingPumped this game. 2-man stun and a nice little stellar burst. They're going to do a little bit of poke damage onto Ice, who's the only player without the Fire Giant buff on Cyclone.
Yeah, CycloneGG, nice. That's 2 in a row that we see nice little smacks out of Wlfy off of a neat little angle right there. But unfortunately, that's not going to open the window large enough for Cyclone to find their way into the Phoenix. Again, there's the jump in from the support. Callus is going to use the transformation. Look, VoteMBK trying to do what he can to the Phoenix, but it's just not enough. He's Freya. Huge ult coming out from the rat. Wlfy's going to get knocked up on the backside. He's the target. iceicebaby low, and the defensive ultimate out of the Hoagie is going to send FeelingPumped back to the base. Well done.
And Cyclone, they don't have that healing that Tera can bring to the table. FeelingPumped, they're just going to be able to back up, heal up. Cyclone, they have to think about it a little bit, especially with their only player without the Fire Giant buff being one of the players who is at the lowest. Ice not going to be able to regen. They're just going to go ahead, accept this one. I like to call from Cyclone here. They lost the fight. While they did get a lot of relics coming out of FeelingPumped, a lot of cooldowns, they're not going to chance anything. Wlfy going to pick up that speed buff, and they're just going to make their way back to the base and spend the gold they just earned.
Yeah, there's no reason to. You got a 10,000 gold lead for CycloneGG, and right there, Dimi on the soul is actually a big part of that defensive push. I celebrated the ultimate coming out of CaptainTwig off of the defensive push coming out on the right side, but Dimi being able to clear, Dimi and nulisa combined, being able to clear those minions as soon as they show up. Cyclone was sort of waiting for the opportunity to really come in with the minion wave, and FeelingPumped made sure to prioritize those minions over anything else, and that really caused the stop right there. And like you said, Cyclone, there's no reason for them to really push it. They've got a 10,000 gold lead. They're going to look for the next Fire Giant. If FeelingPumped wants to fight them, they're totally okay with that.
And it's going to be the posture up here now around the Fire Giant. Every advantage is going the way of Cyclone here. Experience, not really a big factor. Everybody's level 20 apart from the supports. Callus, he does have 2 levels on that Tera. Levels do matter on both of these supports to an extreme amount. However, it's really just going to be all about grouping up, and the gold lead here for Cyclone, they're definitely going to want to take this fight.
On the right side, nice little squash coming out from FeelingPumped. Ultimate out of Wlfy, Dimi in immediate trouble, but Ducky's the first one to fall. There's the ultimate out of VoteMBK, taking down the enemy hunter, and Wlfy's going to be on the chase. Trixtank running to the left side, nice little shot, but it's not going to find the target. and FeelingPumped have to find a way out. They do, but it don't matter. CycloneGG were just looking to push the enemy out so they can secure the Fire Giant.
Tera ult is absolutely fantastic at disengaging, but it wasn't enough for Ducky and Dimi. The side lanes are both now down. Twig, he's going to do what he did last time Fire Giant got taken, and he's going to look to push out a minion wave here, just really stall as much as he can. This time around Cyclone, they're not going to be taking the bait here. They're just going to look to push down this mid lane Phoenix.
Yeah, no big deal. I mean, iceicebaby on the Hun Batz, he's not your DPS looking for the Fire Giant. Mid lane Phoenix melting halfway down already. Not the same story from the right side. Trixtank doing what he can, but he's just by himself. That Phoenix is going down for the count. CycloneGG get the first Phoenix, and they're shifting to the right.
They're going to be able to push this one down, or maybe not actually. They're just going to take their win and back off. I like this call. Ducky and Dimi both coming off of cooldown here. Once again, no healers to their names. Nobody's really that low, but they're just going to play it safe. No reason to throw the game now. Bubble coming up now for Vote, and I don't think FeelingPumped are going to look to chase this one down.
Yeah, Cyclone, I mean, they've got the Fire Giant. No reason to... You're not going to willingly fight into a Fire Giant team over 10,000 gold ahead of you. So they're going to allow CycloneGG to go ahead back to base, and we'll see the restart. 14-11, 34 minutes on the clock here. FeelingPumped looking up at CycloneGG, a 12,000 or 11.5 thousand gold lead to be hyper specific for you, chat. And CycloneGG looking to take the win. Don't forget, semis, this is going to be a best of 3. So we'll see how this one works out.
Yeah, and right now, something else to note, gold lead mattering less and less. Almost everybody is full, well, everybody is full build on the side of Cyclone. Almost everybody is full build coming out for the side of FeelingPumped. There's just 1 or 2 items away for everybody. Of course, Ducky, the solo laner, he's going to be the first one to complete his build here. Twig looking to round things out, likely to be a Nemean. He has so much CDR at this point. No reason for that to be a Breastplate of Valor. Wlfy has just been running these team fights with these bounces so far, and I mean, I'm excited to see if maybe game number 2, FeelingPumped might take away this Hou-Yi mid.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I really like the fact that Wlfy is so dominant on the Hou-Yi, because you don't want to ban Hou-Yi, especially in the first round of bans, and Cyclone can certainly make a case to pick that up in picks 1, 2, and 3. So CycloneGG certainly have a good start here. Left side, D6, they're going to look to push. Deathwalker lead the charge.
And it's going to be Trixtank looking to dash, and Wlfy forced out immediately. Twiggy going to come down right on top. Good beads and Aegis are going to keep him alive for just another moment here. Trixtank pushing forward now, and once again might be a successful defense. Callus, he might not make it out of it with his life, as he almost gets dropped, and he will fall through the portal.
Great control coming out of nulisa. iceicebaby able to pick up CaptainTwig despite good defense. Everybody low. Here comes Camazotz. And Callus gets taken down by Ducky, looking for more. One more shot will do it. There it is, looking for the follow-up. Can he find 3? Absolutely not. Shut down by the mid laner. Wlfy with that signature Hou-Yi. 4 dead on the side of FeelingPumped. Cyclone going to push down to the left-hand side. And they're going for the win.
They're just going to go right on for it. Not worried at all about nulisa, who gets pulled up thanks to the banish. She's going to have to purify away that pin coming out from Erlang. The Sanctuary, and that's going to be game. Game number 1 is going to go the way of CycloneGG.
Well played. Got to give it up to iceicebaby and Wlfy. But at the end of the day, this was 100% a team win. CycloneGG, we talk about setting the pace of the game. And when it comes down to it, you're always looking at the jungler for that situation. Ratatoskr is the character that's going to do that. Not the Hun Batz, but the team Cyclone. They grouped up as 3 and 4 in the beginning of the game. They were able to take out the enemy jungle, and because of that, they kind of sat ahead 2,000 gold the entire match, despite some sort of bite backs from the enemy team. But it was all about those consistent invades in the early game, and I loved the strategy.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the pace wasn't really set by either junglers. Honestly, it was set by Wlfy, who just had the confidence to walk forward and steal whatever camp that he could. Wlfy on that Hou-Yi really showed an impressive display. Wouldn't be surprised to see it banned next game at all. They might even just do Hou-Yi Freya, because despite their best efforts, Vote MBK still reached that end game there. Once again, that was game number 1. And I want to remind everybody in chat, you can go ahead and link your hi-rez account to your Twitch account. Go ahead and snag some good bonuses there just for watching. Over 3,300 Odyssey chests and 48,000 gems have already been given away. So, hey, go ahead, link your accounts and try and sign yourself up for that raffle.
And then going back to the game real quick, Voda BK on the Freya, you know, so he wound up with about 24,500 player damage, which honestly, the player damage was all nice and even. All your DPS did about 22 to 24,000. The Freya didn't really like, we were talking at the beginning of the game about this Freya lane and how you have to, that wasn't really the thing. It was all about, like you said, Wlfy and iceicebaby that really ran it.
Indeed, and now down 1-0 to nothing. FeelingPumped, they're going to have to find themselves a way back into this. We're going to throw it to a brief break here, and then we'll be right back with game number 2.
Pump it up.